Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cine Nerds. I'm here, Orengo and Bells. Wait, but Bells and Josue.
Yeah.
Today is going to be in the spirit of Christmas. We're going to be talking about two movies picked by Lex because that's what he always does. He always picks the movies. And we're going to be looking at a classic, quote unquote classic, which is Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands, and I guess, modern Christmas classic, or maybe on its way to becoming a type of modern Christmas classic, which would be Netflix's Klaus. Pero now, let's start with Edward Scissorhands. Josue.
One of the classics and earliest films by Tim Burton, Edward Scissorhands, tells the story of the titular Edward, artificially created human who has scissors for hands. He is living alone in a decrepit old house when he is adopted by a lovely suburban family, and he becomes the talk of the town for both better and worse. Este es un clásico, una de las primeras, si no me equivoco, no es la primera de Tim Burton, porque esa fue Pee-wee's Big Adventure, pero esta es sus primeras 3 o 4 películas. Ahí es la que de verdad it cemented his signature style.
Yeah.
A lot of people think of Tim Burton, they think of this. And yeah, yo me acuerdo haberlo visto hace años and liking it back when most teenagers of my generation had their Tim Burton phase. I was like, oh yeah, this movie's great. Yeah. Watching it now that I'm more cynical to Tim Burton's whole thing, I'm like, oh, let's take a look. And it's like, yeah, this takes me back. Like, lo principal de Edward Scissorhands, lo principal de Tim Burton en general, la estética.
Yes.
Like, digamos lo que vayamos a decir sobre la historia y la actuación y whatever, the production design and the aesthetic is what sells this movie.
It's what he excels in.
It's what he excels in, yeah. Él era un fan de los clásicos del terror. Y tú ves mucho de lo que sería homenaje a German Expressionism.
Sí.
From the silent
Caligari and all that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. With his twisted architecture and dark colors.
Yeah.
We also see que esta película es un poco autobiographical, like a lot of his early work, especially in his shorts.
Yes.
This is meant to sort of emulate the white suburbia he grew up in. And with all these garish colors y los vecinos que son bien metiches y bien bochinchero. Esta idea, y entonces, like, como Edward, who looks just like a young Tim Burton, a young, more handsome Tim Burton, because he's played by a young baby babyface Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, yeah.
So, se nota que es un poco autobiográfico en el sentido de que él siempre se sintió como un weirdo and where he grew up in, where people sometimes like him, but then as soon as he acts a little too weird, they turn on him. And that's the whole point of the story.
Yeah.
I think it works for the most part.
It does, and it's very relatable too.
Yeah, a lot of us feel that way. But a la misma vez, I feel like it might be, for today's standards, a little juvenile compared to like other stories that talk about being like persecuted by society and whatnot.
True.
This was like what we felt as teenagers when we felt as outsiders. Pero a la misma vez que yo encontré interesante que esta película es uno de los primeros ejemplos en los 90, in the early 90s. The whole decade of the 90s to the early 2000s, there was this whole movement where la idea de suburbia was challenged by artists. Suburbia por muchos años, muchas décadas, era como que el ideal para la familia americana blanca. It's like a suburbia, it's our own house, todo es perfecto.
The American dream.
The American dream. And all throughout the 90s, they were saying, but is it though?
Yeah.
We have bands like Blink-182 and Green Day singing about like how, oh yeah, we live in this small town, but we're bored and angry and frustrated. Tenemos estas películas de Tim Burton y otras películas como de Sofía Coppola en el que todo este suburbia, it's like, por tan perfecto que se ve, there's a lot of like seedy underbelly to it with how some of the people react. And it takes me back to that time. Y comparado hoy en día, it's like muchos de esos problemas de los que ellos hablan es como que, man, I wish I had those problems nowadays with everything going on now.
Claro.
it is still worth looking into. It's like por tan perfecto que se veía esa environment, there really was a lot of bullshit underneath, and a lot of art during this time talked about it, which is why I think it still holds up, even if looking back at it, I don't know. I'll have to think about it a bit more.
It's reactionary porque acuérdate que son Gen Xers quejándose de los baby boomers. De cómo la vida que vivieron y toda la cuestión. Y pues obviamente tuvieron sus struggles because they went through wars too and shit. So like as we did as well. Pero that was their way of like going against esa vida que tuvieron en los 60, 70, 80 basically. You see examples como los que son Jim Jarmusch and how he challenged the type of life that he used to have, exemplificado en sus películas como la de Paradise algo, que no me acuerdo ahora mismo. You have Kevin Smith, que como que el ejemplo más clásico, con Clerks, of this whole like, oh, not supposed to be here today, being a whiny little white guy, quejándose de que pues tiene un fucking empleo chicha en los 20, and now he still has it basically all his life. I do agree, it's juvenile, pero lo cool de la película es que está estructurado como si fuera una fábula. La fábula en story, en like, como estas historias que son like fairy tales, están diseñadas para que se sientan simples, pero con un mensaje que, you know, it's relatable, está bien construido, you know, anyone can digest it no matter who you are, what age you are, para que se sienta timeless as a result. Y obviamente it borrows a lot from Frankenstein's monster y toda esa temática.
Down to the climax, yeah.
Exacto. So it's very nice que él usó ese arquetipo de, ¿cómo es que se llamaba ella? Oh my God. La escritora. Christ,
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley, thank you. Oh my God, my English major failed me. Mary Shelley, que pues cogió su arquetipo del personaje y lo modernizó, you know, for a new audience. Me gustó también que tuviera Vincent Price. It was a nice homage. Como lo que hizo con la cuestión con Bela Lugosi and all that shit in the Ed Wood movie. I love that he has this appreciation for old school like 50s Hollywood. And me gusta como él trae mucho eso porque muchos de estos directores que habían venido en los 80 y los 90, como lo que son tus Tim Burton, lo que son tus Robert Rodriguez, they were very inspired by cinema. Porque obviamente they were the first generation that really grew up on cinema accessible for everyone. Porque antes era un poquito más complicado, but with the advent of stuff like TV, everyone could consume cinema. So ellos fueron la primera generación que fueron influenciadas por cine. We're like the third generation that's been influenced by cinema, but those were the first ones. Por eso es que Tarantino is very referential cinema. Por eso Tim Burton alude mucho al cinema que le gustaba. Por eso tenía early examples was maybe George Lucas, pero era un poquito más, you know, because there wasn't so many examples, so he would just mix and match more. Pero aquí se nota una referencia bastante marcada de cómo estaba haciendo todas estas referencias se veían presentes en las películas. And I think Edward Scissorhands is no different. Está bien lograda. I feel like it's a very good story. Es de las primeras no es la primera, pero es de las primeras de Johnny Depp. Obviamente, this was one of the movies that obviamente lo explotó.
Si no me equivoco, fue la misma primera película que ha hecho con Tim Burton. Like,
sí, fue la primera. Exacto.
It was his first with Tim Burton, but that he's had a few movies before that.
Él tuvo What's Eating Gilbert Grape, él tuvo la de Freddy, no me acuerdo cuál fue.
Nightmare on Elm Street, where he has the best death in the whole movie.
Another one called Cry Baby.
Crybaby también.
Crybaby,
yeah. That's another good one. Pero esta fue, como tú dijiste, la primera collab con Tim Burton.
Yeah, es cuando todo explotó y Tim Burton always with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter together, so they together in every fucking movie.
Exacto. Entonces, obviamente, Tim Burton was riding half high porque la de Pee-wee was pretty successful y también después hizo Beetlejuice, que también it kind of cemented his style. Cuando sacó este Batman, exacto, cuando sacó este Batman, que was basically the same year, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was a year apart.
89.
Exacto, 89 and then 90 es como que ya pichea, ya estaba cemented as that new shiny director in el cine.
And then he had a few more good movies during the 90s, and then the 2000s came, and he had
I defend Sweeney Todd. He had
the Planet of the Apes remake, and we were like, okay, you know, even a god can bleed. And then Sweeney Todd was like, okay, they just keep at this. And wait, what? Oh, Alice in Wonderland. Oh, that's perfect. That's like a match made in heaven. What the fuck am I watching? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then he just like a dying star.
Sort of. He'll have his comeback. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But Bells, what do you think about the movie then?
Well, This is the second time I saw it. It's been a long time that I haven't seen Edward Scissorhands, and the first time was I was 5.
Okay.
6?
Bueno, yeah.
Diablo, pues sí, but this is your first time watching it, basically.
I was born in 96, so
such a child, like 10.
Such a... Yes.
Uh-huh.
Watching it for the second time, it was really refreshing. It actually gave me a lot of nostalgia for some reason, even though I only saw it once. Mm-hmm. Some of the jokes, though, made me cringe a lot.
Yeah. I was basically what I usually do when I watch these movies. I live tweet to the group chat. See. And there were a few jokes where I was like, oh no, what is this?
And the thing is, I didn't remember when you mentioned it. So I'm like, okay, let me sit down and watch this. And I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, let me see if I can find it. That was the one that made you sort of dread the revisit.
I mean, first off, the whole this girl having an orgasm while
so falling into his criticisms of suburbia, we have a lot of housewife characters, and there's this one.
This was like the straight line, just machismo situation. Like, part they were all chismeándose whatever. Y cuando los carros de todos los hombres, ellos se fueron y they spread it.
Se dispersa, like little ants. Just
there's this one housewife, who is so sex deprived, and the whole movie she's trying to get laid. Yeah. We're introduced to her by her trying to fuck the plumber. Like le está tirando indirectas al plomero. Yeah. El plomero is either too polite or too oblivious to it. And she's really into Edward, like very into Edward. And at first, everybody likes Edward. He's different. He's new. He's very artistically gifted. This isn't a self-insert at all. And like because of his Scissorhands, he's really good at trimming hedges and doing trim art. He's good at cutting the hair of dogs. Apparently él tiene los poderes para cambiar de raza de perro. Sí. Porque hay una escena en el que él le corta el pelo a un perro it's a British sheepdog. Yeah. And then when you see the dog again, it's a French poodle. Yeah. And it's like, oh wow, that's an amazing superpower you got there. A very esoteric superpower.
Oh god.
Yeah. And then the same lady is like, oh, I love what you did to my dog. Can you cut my hair? Yeah. And as he's cutting her hair, she is like squirming and curling her toes and moaning. And it's like,
this is so awkward. Just
And if it was
the same way back then.
You probably didn't get it back then because you were like 5. You were probably like, oh, okay.
That's I don't know if other people, when it first came out, felt equally as uncomfortable as it is nowadays.
Yo creo que people found it probably jocoso. Porque como Josué dice, it was at a time where you were making fun of this. So era como que parte del trope. Okay, of course, the sex deprived housewife. Oh, let's see what she does. Oh, of course, she's having an orgasm with someone cutting her hair.
Of course, she's trying to seduce a man who is essentially a child. Or at the very least, is very awkward and too innocent for this. Yeah. And there's this scene where she gets on his lap and tries to and it's like, okay, movie. We're not gonna address her bad touching it. Okay. Nope.
We're not gonna address the assault. No.
Oh,
that he assaulted you. And that's another thing I didn't like.
Yeah. And that's the whole point because
movie. It's not criticism in of itself.
And that's the whole point because the whole point is these women who were crazy about him suddenly, as soon as he's a little weird or they don't get exactly what they want from him, they start gossiping and making shit up about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's this whole thing. I've seen this again. This happens a lot in like sitcoms and movies of the time.
Es un trope.
It's a trope.
Yeah.
Que por tan perfecto que tienen sus vidas, la gente viviendo en suburbia son tan aburridos, están tan apestadas de su vida that they gotta make shit up or gossip.
Yeah, but that's also, I would say, sort of a stereotype.
Yeah, it is.
No, of course.
You go over there, it's a lot different than what we see now in movies.
Yeah,
sure.
Suburban life.
Pero contextualmente como lo que él presenta Que por si yo le preguntaba a Josué if it was set in the 90s or if it's set like in the 60s. Porque
Also
sure,
60s.
esa es la
Because the
cosa.
hair,
Ah.
you know, la escenografía de por sí se me llama.
Eso es lo que digo. Pero
The
como él
only
dice
thing that
que. Exacto.
the only thing that confirms that it's supposed to be taken in contemporary times is that they talk about big screen TVs and VCRs,
Por
which
eso.
weren't readily available to the public till that time. But
No.
definitely the whole aesthetic
Mhm.
oozes the 60s.
Por eso.
So
Yeah.
The mismatched colors,
Mhm.
almost muted colors, the weird furniture.
Sí.
the
Los
garish
carros.
garish sensibilities.
Yeah. Por eso, the whole thing about the man working at 6 a.m. y regresa a las 5 de la tarde, like on cue, ¿me entiendes? Como que they're going to their office. Que sí.
Women doing their own job.
Exacto.
The
Por
the
eso.
food they're talking about, like the ambrosia salad. I looked up ambrosia salad. That looks disgusting.
Oh, yeah. For sure. But that's like white people stuff,
Okay, I'm looking
which is
this
part
up.
of the joke, I feel. But it's like,
It's like how for the joke for white people for a while is that they made everything into a gelatin.
yeah. Por eso, yeah, which was true, because that was like the thing. Because that was like the big cuisine thing que habían comercializado en esos tiempos.
At least back in the day with cowboys and stuff, it was because they had nothing else. They had to somehow boil down the bones and sinew of the animal to eat anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, gelatin. At least back then was made out of that.
Exacto.
I don't know if it is nowadays.
No, polvito, ¿no? If I'm not mistaken. La cosa es que yo me acuerdo que el gelatin was promoted como que esta cosa que era moldeable a lo que fuese. That's why people back then hacían gelatin de todo. Hasta con pollo y miel. Like they would literally just mix like gelatin with anything. That would be like the food.
And also it's more easily accessible
También,
for them back in the day as well. Now it's different, but
yeah, exacto.
You know, our taste back then was horrible compared to what we have now.
Yeah.
Still does not look any less horrible to me whenever I see it.
I looked up ambrosia salad just to see what it is. It's just basically una ensalada dulce.
Yeah.
Pero lo han hecho verse tan feo en la película because here it looks fucking pretty.
Yeah.
And it has marshmallows, maraschino cherries, walnuts, different types of fruit, and I don't know what cream is that. I'm hoping it's whipped cream because it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
They what I'm seeing, a lot of people kind of change the color from time to time to make it more appetizing, but it just doesn't look appetizing at all.
Yeah.
So
what merit would you give this movie as far as Christmas classics go? Do you guys think it's yeah?
It might not be Christmas per se, but it does have a winter feel.
It does.
Because especially as we approach the ending. Well, the ending does take place during Christmas. And there's this whole theme because it's the movie has a framing device where the lead love interest is an old woman now, she's a grandma.
The actual lead woman was like they turned her into grandma. They didn't find another actress for grandma. It was Winona Ryder
as a grandma.
The makeup was okay, but it was her. But she was too young to do a proper old lady voice. So it's like, Winona Ryder, we love you, girl. But
not there. You can't pull that off there.
Brightest moment. That wasn't your shining moment right there.
But is it her fault or is Tim Burton be like, I can pull it off?
I'm pretty sure it was Tim Burton's fault.
Por eso mismo.
I'm pretty sure she was like, I'm not fit for this role. No, you're doing it.
No, you're doing it. Don't worry. It'll work. It'll work.
I mean, this might have been one of her earliest examples of wearing like heavy makeup. This is okay. But point is, she explains how Edward is the cause of why it snows in winter in that town.
Yeah.
And apparently, every winter he does ice sculptures to commemorate her by, and it causes the chips of as he sculpts with his scissor hands just turns into snow.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, I did have an issue with the whole, I just want him to remember me as I was. You could have just gone in while the mob left. Yeah. Just saying.
Like,
nothing happened.
It's one of those things that you're not so supposed to really think about because this is like a fable. It's like a fairy tale. But it does beg the question, did you visit him a few times after that?
Exacto. Yeah, I mean, he's still there. Pasé lo que pasó, pero todavía sigue ahí. So,
which is it like a bittersweet type of thing? But it's maybe the idea of the bittersweetness, como que.
Yeah. I like to.
for
My
me,
head
not
can.
really,
Mhm.
because my brain just goes straight to logic,
Claro.
not
My,
just I just want him to remember me, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and it's
my,
always
Okay.
snowing. But I'm guessing that's they had to find a way to end it
my
as a
head
Yeah.
My head canon is that she kept visiting him, but it was a secretive love affair, and like Edward grew enough maturity to know like this isn't a life she should be leading. So he
that's
told
true.
her, or they came to the mutual understanding of like as beautiful as much as they love each other, like she has to return to her world. Como
yeah.
quien dice.
And
Okay.
honestly, even in the first time I saw it, I thought she was going to take the blame for the death
Mm.
because it made it seem like it was going to be. She even grabbed the hammer, like, okay, so you're going to say you killed him. But no.
Exacto. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Edward straight up kills a guy.
Yeah.
Just straight up kills. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he was a little shit. He was a rich boy little shit who, like,
Stole from his father.
Mhm.
yeah, stole from his father. He was an entitled little fucker.
Yeah.
He was that kind of asshole. So yeah, so it's not ultimately not a big loss, especially for the movie as far as the
Mhm.
movie's concerned.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of like surprising. It's like, oh, our timid hero straight up knifed the bitch.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
I agree.
Even after getting hit by beams and getting hit more by beams by the other guy, the dude just straight up just, you know what?
And
Yeah.
that's what kills me the most when I saw it again, because the guy came in with this swagger and confidence that I'm gonna kill this freak, and we're just like, bitch, I got knives for hands, stab. And he has this surprise face, and the idea is that because
his way of
Mm.
thinking in that moment, like, yeah, can you stand a chance with a guy that has
Scissors for hands.
yeah,
Exacto.
I bet. Well, first of all, he was drunk.
Yeah.
And he was
Yes.
drunk and pissed, but also just the idea of everything we saw from Edward up until the movie is that he's too timid to do anything.
Mhm.
Any harm he brings to people is accidental,
Mhm.
and it's implied just by the way the looks that asshole kid guy gives that he knows this.
Mhm.
Pero le conviene decir, oh, Edward's too dangerous, he hurt you. Por más que le tratan de decir, no, it was an accident. And he said, bullshit it is. I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
Porque le conviene, because, of course, it has that, it does that thing that a lot of asshole dudes do, that when the girl says, I don't want to see you anymore, he's like, fuck you, you're going to see me more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
It has a lot of classic tropes. This
Oh,
movie.
yeah, for sure.
A lot. Different elements of classic tropes. But since it's like literally the beginning of all this, would it be that some of the classic tropes nowadays is based on what we saw in the 90s?
That's one thing that I kind of
Mm.
thought of when watching this movie. I had to remind myself, no, this was an earlier movie. A lot of these tropes were
Claro.
not as overused as they are today.
Exacto. Yeah.
Exactly.
So to a modern audience, this movie might be like, yeah, the aesthetic and the music, it's beautiful. Well, but I've seen this story before. But you got to remind them, yeah, but you got to keep in mind this movie came out in 1990,
Exacto.
so it's
Ahí
kind
lo
of
que
all
cogió fue ciertas historias clásicas and he kind of remixed them, you know,
yeah. Which
con su propia estética, que eso fue what made it unique about it.
oh yeah,
Where does he get the ice from, though? From Klaus. We're gonna talk about that soon.
it doesn't matter.
Don't get too far ahead, Mia.
No, I know. Yeah.
It doesn't. The proper answer is it doesn't matter. Like with most fairy tales, like the details don't really matter. It's the emotion. It's the emotion.
Yeah, that's true.
And Danny Elfman's score helps sell that emotion.
Yeah.
It's one of his nice.
Danny?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, it's one of his more sort of melancholic, but also sort of bittersweet soundtracks. I like it.
Yeah.
And something that I didn't notice until it was pointed out to me a few years ago. The whole song is oohs and ahs.
Ooh,
Yeah. Ooh, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And yet, well, that's mark of a good composer, I guess.
Yeah. Danny Elfman has this magic to his way of composing, because he, out of many composers that I've heard throughout any movie, he knows how to grasp that feeling.
Yeah,
Really good.
I still say his Spider-Man soundtrack is criminally underrated.
So
That's
underrated.
la de Sam Raimi, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yo digo que de cierto punto en adelante, he stopped being Danny Elfman. Pero
Mm.
I don't fully blame him tampoco.
Danny Elfman también es que él se ha puesto amargado, which I don't
Yes.
blame him because there's a lot of changes into the industry that he has
Mhm.
been very vocal about.
Yep.
Like él dice one of the banes of his existence is when he gets a film with temp music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
You want to talk about the Tim music thing?
Yeah, like from what little I got to see, he's like he hates temp music when they put temp music because that just puts in the director's head a particular sound, and it makes his creative process more limiting because he can think of, oh wait, I can think of this awesome soundtrack for this scene, but the director's like, yeah, but can you make it sound more like the temp music?
Yeah.
And he fucking hates that, and I don't blame him.
The problem with the
Especially if
temp
it's
music, which is a big issue, que ha pasado con mucho composers. That is why it's hard to find any memorable soundtracks anymore. Porque lo que termina pasando es que with the advent of the digital age y tener la accesibilidad a tener temp music, a lot of directors are cutting to the temp music to the point where when they want to get the soundtrack done, they have to give the temp music porque ya todo está estructurado around the temp music that they used. So what most of these composers do is try to emulate something similar to it, and everything becomes cyclical. Porque entonces what they do sounds similar to what they heard, and then that ends up being used as temp music for something else, and then it just becomes a cyclical composing viaje donde todo el mundo está repitiéndose las mismas tonalidades movie tras movie. There's a great, and YouTube, someone did this. I think it's a video analyzing Marvel Cinematic, the Marvel Cinematic Universe's compositional music y whatever. Y es como se van en el viaje, y Danny Elfman es uno de los que critica esto very vocally, que se van en el viaje de cómo because of the temp music, he is, like Josué said, limited in creative freedom, y todo está tan ajustado en cuestión de edición al temp music that he has no other choice but to mimic whatever the temp music is, porque todo el beat está down to the millisecond en la edición, which is a huge problem that's happening.
And then we get situations like the whole 300 soundtrack debacle, where one of the main themes is a straight ripoff of a Titus Andronicus movie.
Yeah.
By who was it? Julie Taymor who did it?
Yeah, I don't remember the name, pero sí, I remember el chisme, por decirlo así.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I remember early in my career, I used to do that shit. Yo ponía temp music para la edición just to get a feeling of the song, and it got to the point que cuando yo iba al composer, I would literally be like, can you just do this? Es como que I can't just copy the song. Es como que, okay, but just do something similar, and they would adamantly do something similar. Pero ya aprendí como que I can't do that shit anymore.
Yeah, unless you're trying to do something with like classical music deliberately a la Fantasia or one of those classic cartoons, you probably shouldn't use temp music in editing.
It's not a good idea. It's not a good. Yo entiendo el porqué, because es un buen crutch cuando estás editando, because you can kind of feel out the scene with a potential song choice. Pero el problema es que you cut around it too much, and then it just becomes something you have to stick it there, because once you take it out, y Danny Elfman lo decía, if you try to compose something original for it, it's never going to match. Instead of just editing based on the pacing that you understand is the correct one, y después dejar que el composer around the scene entonces construya la melodía apropiadamente. Pero yeah, it's something that a lot of directors, myself included, have to unlearn to do, porque todo el mundo lo hace ahora in the digital age. It's pretty horrible. So if I would say, what's your top 3 Tim Burton movies? Would this be in your top 3? And if not, what would be your top 3 that Tim Burton?
Sorry, nope. Edward Scissorhands, not.
I mean, okay.
I'd say one of my favorite Burton films is Sweeney Todd.
Okay.
Yes.
The original Batman '89.
Okay.
What other? I'm trying to think back. I guess the thing with Tim Burton is that I can't think of many movies of his where I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is amazing. It's more like I really enjoy his aesthetic.
Sad. What about Mars Attacks?
Or is it
It's a fun, dumb movie, homaging a lot of 50s.
What about Ed Wood?
You know, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oof. Esa es la que.
Yeah.
Esa es la que.
I guess I really like Corpse Bride.
Okay.
That's because that's a nice. That one's good to pop in for the Halloween season. It's a cute little animated movie and in a style that I love. I love stop motion. So.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
What about you, Bells?
For me, I've been a huge Tim Burton fan since I first saw Sweeney Todd because I love the aesthetic and I love the style. It kind of what piqued my interest in what is the dark and the macabre, right? And I can just not say 3 movies. Sweeney Todd is one. It's number 1 for me. I sing all the songs all the time.
Nice.
All the time.
Nice.
Just don't sing Joanna, please.
I feel you.
Why get the one up here?
Let's just do a duet of Pretty Women.
Pretty
Woman.
Second is Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a classic.
He did not direct that.
That's why I didn't mention
Shameful.
it.
Shameful.
I didn't mention that one because
you're not supposed
Christmas
to
is
poor
in this,
Henry Selick. Give credit to the poor man.
Yeah, that movie to me is in this weird in between because it's clearly his story. He wrote the original poem it's based on.
Yeah.
And it's his aesthetic, but he didn't direct it. So
sadly, but it's for me.
It's like
kind of Tim Burton because of the style.
I guess so.
Henry Selick is going to die sabiendo que él hizo Nightmare Before Christmas y nadie le va a dar crédito al pobre hombre. Yo sé que hizo Coraline, thank God, pero
yeah.
que no quiera.
James and the Giant Peach.
Okay.
That is a very
did not direct that movie.
He also did not direct
that movie? Again, wasn't that also Henry Selick?
I am not completely sure. You can.
I'm going to look this up.
Google it. Google it right now. Vamos a poner la mente a Bells.
It would be hilarious if it is.
I think it's the same guy too.
It is just the same guy.
Poor Henry Selick.
You know what, Bells? Maybe you should readjust yourself and realize you actually love Henry Selick and not Tim Burton.
I was gonna mention also Beetlejuice because Miguel
No, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is his. Yeah.
Una clásica.
Sí.
Una bellísima.
Yeah.
It has one of my favorite Danny Elfman themes. That's for sure.
Yeah. Really
definitely.
That theme is really catchy.
Okay.
So I want to mention one, and I think if I remember correctly, it's a short. It's called Vincent.
Oh, yeah. That's one of his first, actually.
Is top notch for something so short, and it's literally the beginning of him.
Yeah, he even got Vincent Price himself to narrate. Which, by the way, I fucking love Vincent Price in this movie. He doesn't appear very long, but he just gives the sweetest old man vibes.
Yeah.
While still having this whole macabre aesthetic to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And last but not least, which I will mention, is Alice in Wonderland. Yes, it's a very recent one.
Mm-hmm.
But me being a Lewis Carroll fan for the longest time and seeing how well he did the visuals in this, I mean,
but he really reinterpreted very differently.
The story is different, even though yes, they do talk about the Jabberwocky and then through the looking glass.
No, but it was aesthetically
wise, yeah.
Yeah, por eso it's not like the Lewis Carroll aesthetic. It's more Tim Burton mezclando un poquito de lo que
the Lewis Carroll. Yeah, it's like loosely based.
Exacto,
on the story.
Beetlejuice, Big Fish is super hollow. Big Fish is shit. I don't know why anyone defends that movie. Miguel, fight me.
Holy shit! Shots fired.
Big Fish is shit.
I've heard that Sleepy Hollow is like it becomes more fun if you see it as a homage to the old Hammer movies.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like I can get behind that. I don't remember liking it that much. I do remember I did love God, what's that actor's name? Christopher Walken as the horseman. Yeah. Because it's hilarious.
Oh my God, los dientes. The teeth.
Just him roaring.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys, and this does have to do with like Tim Burton.
Okay.
Which of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory do you like most? The one that he did, or the last one? The first one.
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah. Okay, we agree. We're middle ground. We agree with that.
Fue interesante lo que Tim Burton hizo, pero somewhere along the way se pierde.
Se
whatever
perdió
the hell,
bien brutal.
see, whatever the hell he wanted to do, se perdió bien cabrón somewhere. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Also, like
Yeah.
I'm being diplomatic, but you should know I absolutely loathe his Alice in Wonderland movie.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We can fight about it like later.
Es cool cuando baila. ¿Te acuerdas cuando él baila, José? En la última de la película.
Oh, the
Mm.
float wagon.
The Flutter Wagon, yeah.
Me quedé como que, what am I looking at?
Yeah,
Oh, thank God it's
because-
over.
I can actually do it. Not the
Because-
Are you gonna do the head?
but the footwork I
okay.
can still do.
Okay. You're not gonna do an exorcist right now, like
No, sadly it's still kind of stuck on my
It's
neck.
stuck. It's so sad.
Yeah, don't
Trágico.
worry. I think next time for next year's live stream, I
Exacto.
can
Te la
adjust
tira.
it.
Adjust a little bit. Just okay. All right.
Shakespearean quotations and all that.
But I think his best movie, Ed Wood, by a lot, like a mile and a half. I think it's really his best film. Es la más que mezcla su estética, sus homenajes, sus sensibilidades, his weird, quirky comedy charm, and his dramatic elements. And I think it encompasses everything that he is as a filmmaker, and it's a love letter to cinema, to himself, to his aesthetic, and to the type of stuff that he does as well. Es como con un beautiful composition de todas las cosas que él. I do have a soft spot bien cabrón por Sweeney Todd, like bien cabrón. And I think the third one, Diablo. I think Batman. Yeah, I think Batman, porque Batman fue súper interesante en el sentido de cómo él mezcló su estética con algo que era bien comercial en un momento que nadie confiaba que eso podía vender.
Mhm.
Que lo logró bastante efectivo con Batman, porque by that point, like, Batman was a laughing stock. Sure, los cómics estaban súper bien en ese momento, pero no one was reading the fucking comics.
Yeah.
And Batman wasn't a property que se podía milk, como estaba pasando con Superman, bueno, hasta que you couldn't milk it anymore. Pero Batman, they were fearful, and they just gave him a chance, porque, pues, new kid on the block, whatever, su estética, whatever. He probably made a good pitch about it, y pues, logró vender esa película comercial.
Now I have a question for you guys. Another one.
Fucking
What?
Miguel.
Ah.
But yeah, sale Orson Welles al final. Screw you. I love that. Of course. How can you not love Ed Wood teniendo un hypothetical conversation con Orson Welles al final de la película? Come on. It's freaking amazing.
Plus, it's just perfect. It's like the guy known for making some of the worst movies of all time meeting the director of the greatest movie of all time.
Exacto. That was such a great scene. I love that shit. It was so good. Sorry, Bells. Mala mía.
Least favorite Tim Burton movie.
Alice in Wonderland.
Okay, you already know this. No, see.
I didn't have to think about it.
Shadows?
Dark Shadows.
I have not seen that one because I've heard it's so bad.
Pretty bad. I
It's-
don't understand what he wanted to do with that
horrible.
movie. Sí, es bien raro.
It's
Qué
so
raro.
weird. It was so random, and you were like,
Yeah,
"What
I
the
don't
fuck
get it.
happened
I hear it has almost nothing to do with the show it's based on either.
No, nothing.
Lo creo. Yeah.
And
All right.
for me, another one that was like bad, but this is more of I'm a bookworm.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm a huge bookworm, and I read Mrs. Pettigreen's Home of Peculiar Children.
The book one, yeah.
I didn't even see the movie. People have explained to me everything, and I'm like, no, yo no quiero ver eso.
I remember when seeing it, thinking I was like, yeah, it's all right, but I haven't thought of it since. So
Same.
The love interest is not the same.
Oh.
Everything is different.
Yeah. Sí, yo pasé por eso. Yo la vi y yo dije, it's fine. Y cuando someone que había leído el libro me dice, it's freaking atrocious. Y yo, ¿por qué? Se me explicó todo lo que me explicó. Yo dije, oh, so he just shot on everything. Oh, that's-
Everything. Like the worst part for me was the love interest because I did love he fell in love with the girl with the fire hands.
Yeah.
Not the floaty girl.
Oh, okay.
Not the floaty.
Yeah.
And it just didn't make sense why you should change it because no cambia nada de la historia actual. Actually, no. Bullshit. It does change it.
Yeah.
There is a whole thing with the grandfather and the fire girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, verdad. I remember that vaguely.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
the love interest.
Okay, yeah.
And it kept going. Like there's
Yeah.
like 5 books now, but it was so bad they never wanted to do a second part.
Pero también era por no fue un commercial success tampoco. Esa fue la
No,
cosa
there
también.
was barely any
Por
marketing.
eso, yeah.
With me, it's that's basically my reaction to the Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
It's like you take a book that is supposed to be nonsense. It's childlike nonsense and whimsy. That's the whole point. The point is that it has no point. It has no sense. And you twist it into this story about war and political intrigue and chosen one narratives. And it's like, okay. And Alice in Wonderland is one of those properties that because it's so old, it lends itself to like people doing twists and reinterpretations.
Yeah.
So you can make an argument like, yeah, but the problem is it's called Alice in Wonderland. No es como America McGee's Alice or Alice the
I was
Madness
about to
Returns.
mention that one because his former interpretation was actually very interesting, and I played it way too many times.
Yeah, but like that one already, like it's the two games are America McGee's Alice, so that lets you know, okay, so it's not the original story.
Retelling, it's
and then the sequel is called Alice the Madness Returns. So it's like, okay, so
and now for anybody who knows, there's gonna be one called Asylum.
Okay. Oh,
cool.
Well, the Tim Burton one is just called Alice in Wonderland, so you're expecting an Alice in Wonderland adaptation, and then it's this weird pseudo sequel to the books, and it's like with the most boring Alice ever put to screen.
Okay.
I don't like the visual.
I love this.
I like the Alice character. My favorite character was Mad Hatter.
The aesthetic is fine, but the effects are awful.
I mean, during those times, they were kind of impressive.
They were impressive, especially La Cabeza de Queen of Hearts.
That's even at the time, I didn't like it. And there's just this weird awkwardness to the whole movie. I don't know.
I did like the Jabberwocky. That was an interesting interpretation of the Jabberwocky.
I mean, it's Christopher Lee. It's hard to go wrong with that guy.
That's very true.
He knows how to pick them.
So yeah, that's like I just really don't like that movie, and it's like, and that also became like it's patient zero of this current trend of the Disney live action remakes.
True, porque fue la que hizo un billón.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And
so they use it as a template.
Yeah, so it's like, no, just no.
So if you didn't like Alice in Wonderland, you didn't like Through the Looking Glass either.
I didn't see it. I didn't like I loathed the first one so much I didn't bother watching the sequel.
Okay.
Same. Yeah. I don't think I ever saw the sequel either.
I heard the sequel is actually a little better, but it's
no la dirigió él tampoco, by the way.
And I'm like, and that's nice. And hey, that's great, but
I think the takeaway aquí de esta conversación es que Bells sorprendentemente es una fan de Henry Selick y no de Tim Burton.
Stop killing!
Yo el regalo de Navidad te voy a comprar, probablemente there's a little box set de Henry Selick con las 3 peliculitas que él hizo.
I'll greatly appreciate it.
Caroline.
Coraline. He hates being called Caroline.
Coraline, not Caroline. Sorry, I've seen that movie way too many times.
Did you know that Tim Burton didn't direct that movie too?
Yes. En este caso sí, yo sabía que no fue.
Thank God. You know, there's people that actually do think que también la hizo Tim Burton. That's the sad part.
Todavía tiene un poco de la estética de Tim Burton.
Yeah, those are the same people who think that DreamWorks movies are made by Disney.
I know, pero
y si no
me da pena por el director.
O los mismos que piensan que cada consola es un Nintendo.
Yeah, I know. It's just and I know que
no solo deja.
Es parte del mercadeo, and I get it. Pero I do remember que por lo menos in Caroline they did an effort to remind people it's like the director of Nightmare, Nightmare Before Christmas. Pero es que la cosa es que people already assume it's Tim Burton, so it didn't help for shit.
There was no Tim Burton in sight, and not even the story. The story is by Neil Gaiman.
Exacto.
Yeah.
Exacto. Yeah. Pero pues.
Like I even looked it up because I'm here. Like, did Tim Burton do something in this? But no,
he did nothing.
Nowhere.
That's all done by Laika.
Exacto.
Yep.
What's their next movie? I need to catch up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up.
I need to catch up with that Bigfoot movie.
Sí, yo no vi esa. The last one I saw fue la de Cubo.
Oh man, so good.
Yeah.
Cubo's so
like
good.
It got cheated so hard in the Oscars.
¿Qué ganó ese año?
Yo creo que era Zootopia.
I can't fault it porque Zootopia es de las mejorcitas de Disney animated, the animated section that they have. I like Zootopia. It was ballsy tirarse el tema que se tiraron. It's basically racism. So
Yeah. Remember when it came out and we thought, bleh, and now what we're living in today is like, oh no, maybe this movie came out at the right time actually.
yeah, por eso digo.
Okay.
Okay.
So I found out which is the next one. It's called Wildwood.
Okay.
And it's featuring an animated Portland. The stop motion animation studio is working on a feature film called Wildwood based on the best-selling novel by the Decemberists. Frontman Colin Meloy?
Oh, so una banda. Okay. El tipo de la banda hizo un libro. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Vamos allá.
That's going to be the next one. And it says 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, está bien. Awesome.
Yeah, it has to be 2022 because they just posted this in 2021.
Pero ¿te crees que eso stop motion hace 5 segundos, pero?
2022.
Sí. Okay.
Tú sabes que yo quería
Mhm.
hacer uno de esos tipos de personas, pero it's just not going to be the dream now.
I mean, it could always be the dream. It could always be the dream. El muchacho que hizo la secuencia de, you guys remember the stop motion sequence de WandaVision?
Yes.
That was a Puerto Rican guy. I know him. El que hizo también la secuencia de Bigfoot. Bigfoot no, Big Mouth. Que they did like a stop motion thing también. Eso también fue Kike. So es como que, yeah, like, you could do it. Yeah, se llama Kike. Búscalo en Instagram. He does really cool shit.
Oh.
He did like a music video con Justin Bieber and everything. Like that was his last thing.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
He's doing shit. Me sorprende que no trabaja con Laika, but I'm pretty sure que Laika probablemente tiene ya su team like built in already. But
I mean, I just looked up like studios online. They said if you guys want to work with us, like there's a whole application and everything.
Está bien. Pero he's probably doing his own shit también, porque también es bueno que también no sea una sola compañía que está haciendo stop motion. It's good to have healthy competition en este ambiente because it's a lost art. So
speaking of lost arts, we can that's the next movie too.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about Klaus.
I'm sorry, it's just I saw the segue and I'm like I pounced it like a fucking tiger.
Awesome. Vamos allá.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next movie is called Klaus or Klaus.
Klaus.
In some indistinct, old-timey land in somewhere in Europe, we have the ¿qué pasó?
My cat.
Oh, the cat. Okay.
Live, everybody.
Yep.
Cats, you gotta love them.
Dios mío. But yeah.
I had a rivalry with a cat that was my dad's second wife's cat.
Oh, okay.
That cat and I did not get along.
Sorry. Tumbó una mesa.
Of course.
Awesome.
And a cat's eternal quest to murder everything.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it? Klaus tells the story of this rich asshole kid, son of the head of the Postmen's Guild of somewhere undisclosed in Europe.
Yeah.
Who's sent to the ass crack of nowhere, somewhere far up north, to learn, in order for him to learn humility. There he finds that the town is a constant feud, a lo the McCats and McCoys and Hatfields.
Yeah.
And he decides, if I'm gonna make the deliveries que mi papá si voy a hacer los deliveries que mi papá me estableció a tiempo, I need to come up with a plan. He finds this man who lives in the woods named Klaus, who has built a lot of toys, and he comes up with a system. Y toda la leyenda de Santa Claus es una combinación de estos dos haciendo juguetes y creando un delivery system para los niños. Y a estos niños recibir these random acts of kindness, they pay it forward and give other kids and other townsfolk acts of kindness. Thus, these bitter, cynical adults who have been at war with each other start getting along, much to the chagrin of the patriarch and matriarch of the two families.
Exacto.
I mentioned lost art because esta película, despite its look, is traditionally animated.
Yeah.
Traditional pencil and paper animation, directed by one of the head animators of one of the most underrated Disney movies, Treasure Planet. Y si has visto Treasure Planet, lo notarás. El protagonista tiene animaciones bien similar al doctor de Treasure Planet porque él estaba a cargo de ese personaje para esa película. Pero lo que lo hace dar la estética bien interesante es que la pintura y la iluminación fue hecha en la computadora.
Sí.
So, él quería no simplemente traer animación tradicional, él quería evolucionarlo. He wanted to add to it. Which is funny because eso era lo mismo con Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet era la idea de combinar diferentes técnicas de computadora con animación tradicional. So seeing him continue it here is just really good. And the visuals are fucking stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Eso es lo más que yo noté. I love CGI animation is great. And a lot of people have been doing a lot of great stuff with it. Into the Spider-Verse, need I say more?
Yeah.
But there's this palpable organic quality to classic animation. Like los pequeños gestos y movimientos de los personajes en esta película are just so charming and so good. The main character siempre nunca está quieto, siempre está moviendo las manos y haciendo gestos en la cara, mientras que Klaus es un hombre de bien pocas palabras y que siempre está bien quieto, but son los micro gestos en su ojo o en la cara que like lo dice todo. It's just so good. And the movie
can we mention the girl with the carrot?
The little Sami, the girl with the carrot. Yeah, this movie has a lot of dark humor, and I am all for it.
I love how this townspeople you're carrying dead bodies, like, moving dead bodies around.
Just casually carrying dead bodies to dump them into the water. Hay una doña que le tira una.
Why does it say PG?
I know. Yeah. When I saw the first dead body, I'm like, whoa, what the hell?
There are these kids practicing how to stab with carrots on a...
Every single time that girl appeared was so funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had a very Tim Burton-esque aesthetic to her and everything.
Yes.
I'm sure it was very intentional.
Serial killer in the making situation, like
with those big sunken in eyes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This lady who just casually throws a vase into a guy's head as he does his morning commute.
Or the kids that kept pranking the grandfather. Like the grandfather was literally on top of a roof and he woke up. Damn vermin!
Yeah, it's amazing. But then as like the kids start getting presents and sharing amongst themselves, and like the parents start seeing those acts of kindness. And at first those acts of kindness are just part to continue the feud. Like the kids are like, oh, we picked up the berries for you. So the mom is like, goes to the other mom and goes, here. And then it's like, oh yeah? Here, I made you jam with the berries. Oh, you gave me the jam? I made you a berry pie. Fuck you. But then it's like, it stops being like this whole fuck you and we're like, that pie was delicious. Let's have dinner sometime. And they get together. And it's all done through visuals. También.
Yeah, and the movie actually perfectly depicts that type of feeling as well. Like, seeing somebody do an act of kindness, you do an act of kindness, and that whole, todavía estoy enfocada contigo, so coge esto y vete para el carajo. And then realizing it. So it depicts completely how the emotion can evolve in a way.
Yeah. This movie also radiates a lot of okay boomer energy because the main villains are the matriarch and the patriarch of the two families who are like, we got to keep this war going because it's how it's always been. Exacto. It's a tradition.
It's a tradition.
Sí. And then it's like, but why? It makes no sense. The kids are like, but why though?
Why? It's like, me encanta porque they give them the history of basically all the feuds without any context of why it even started.
Exacto.
Está brutal.
Like their only answer to why is because it's always been like that.
Yeah.
La clásica.
I did like that one part that ¿Cómo fue? Que how the hell did I lose to you? Algo así.
Yeah.
Why haven't we ever beaten you?
Yeah, because the patriarch of one of the families is just this big idiot.
Big dumb idiot. Yeah.
And it's just
both of them are.
And it's just this movie gives you the warm fuzzies. Like the friendship between the main character and Klaus is so wholesome and so nice.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then it hits you with the feels as you find out why Klaus did all the toys. I'm sure most of us figured it out pretty early on, but still it's sold so it's a testament to how well it's sold just by how, even if you saw it coming, you're like, oh no, my heart.
I will say es la única cosa que no me gusta. I could fault the whole trope de que, the liar trope. I forgave it. Pero.
We'll get to that. As much as I like this movie, there are a couple of things I didn't like.
Por eso, the thing that I didn't like the most fue el hecho de que they explain the thing. Como que I love cuando este muchacho estaba abriendo como que todo, and then Jesper he like pulls the coat, and then you see the little two figurines and the spaces in blank. Yo dije, oh, okay, like that's a clever way of telling us what Klaus's problem is. Yo dije, perfecto, leave it there. But then Klaus goes on to explain it, and while yes, it will hit you in the fifis, I'm like, but I'm not dumb, I already got it. Y para nada, porque después at the end, you show que everyone else who's working in the workshop started putting their little figurines there, showing you that he built a whole family in the process. So visually, you already told me this, por qué Klaus had to say it? Dang it. Like, I already understood completely that you guys never had kids and she died.
Because when you hire J.K. Simmons,
see, you have to use his voice. I get it.
Because that guy can read you the fucking phone book.
Sí, es verdad. Fine.
Pero Orengo.
Okay.
Ahora te voy a tener que tirar la misma medicina que me has tirado a mí.
Dale, vamos allá.
Isn't that the point?
No, porque el visual me lo dice.
Meant for kids, though.
Pero I bet kids can get it. Kids are not dumb. I disagree with the statement that people think kids are stupid and they don't get it.
I mean, this is just meant for kids. They just wanted to explain and give it. I'm pretty sure they just needed more time to fill in, and that at least you have to say was very whimsical, very bittersweet.
Sí, no, claro. La secuencia es linda. I'm just saying, como que contra. I already got it. It was so beautiful. It was very cleverly done. Like, como está construida, like, la maquetita y whatever. Y decía, oh, qué cool. Qué nice way of representing. They're there. They got married, but he never had a family. And obviously, she's not there. So by context, I completely understand that she's not in the picture anymore. Boom, got it. Instantaneously. Visual storytelling. Magnifique. 5 minutos después, he just vomits what I already knew. And I get it. Fine. It's for kids, I guess. Pero está bien. It's my only real gigantic gripe. Realmente. Everything else, me gustó mucho.
I actually have a couple.
Dale,
let's hear Bells, what Bells has to say.
Dale, Bells, perdóname.
Oh, no, I absolutely loved the movie.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of Christmas movies. I was the type of person who only saw Home Alone every year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's a beautiful one. It's gorgeous.
Of course you don't like Christmas movies.
I'm just not a big fan because Hallmark likes to spew out the same damn situation every single fucking movie. So,
pero tiene que ser Hallmark, hay otras peliculitas.
But to be fair,
sí, pero I still feel like it's all repetitive and that's nothing very fresh. This one was really fresh to me.
Okay.
Because it's another retelling of how Christmas came to be. Not the classic Christian one, not the classic pagan one. This is just a different retelling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love the most about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I really like how all of the tropes we associate with Santa Claus, how they worked it into the stories. Like some of them are cute, some of them are actually had me laughing.
Yeah.
I think the movie's like really charming. It's beautifully animated. A few things I didn't like. Who voiced the matriarch of the family, the villain? Was that Joe Cusack or something?
You might be right. Yo busqué los nombres, pero no era mucha gente famosa que yo reconocía.
I just felt that her voice didn't fit that character model.
Okay.
Like that character model was way too old for the voice she was giving. She should have either tried to go for a more old lady voice, but at the same time, I get that they don't want to because she has this charismatic comedic timing in her voice that might have been thrown off if she were trying to do a voice.
Claro.
Or they could have Mrs. something. It's one of the Mrs. Family name.
Yeah, Mrs. Family name full. Yeah, I forgot it.
Mrs. Tammy Crumb.
I think so.
Creo que era así. Sí.
Yeah, John Cusack.
Yeah, Joan Cusack. And I like Joan Cusack. Mm-hmm. I just don't feel that her voice matched that character model.
Oh, no. I agree with you.
Maybe they could have aged down the character model, not make her so decrepit to make the voice fit her better, or just tweak it a bit. Because otherwise, it feels blasphemous because all these character designs are so good.
Yes,
They are.
They are so good. The voice didn't necessarily match. The few songs in it feel like needle drops of pop songs.
I loathed it porque it actually dates the stupid movie.
It takes you out of it too, because otherwise the movie feels very timeless.
Exacto.
And then
if you just had like normal orchestra or piano music, even if it sounds generic,
it's a missed opportunity. No, because a lot of Christmas movies like to have the classical normal Christmas music, and it's all instrumental. It's no pop music, nothing. But then te tiran pop music, it's just modern.
Fue bien odd. It's super odd.
And of course, getting into the spoiler, there's a bit. This movie has this trope which I don't like. A lot of animated family movies it's called the liar reveal.
Yeah.
The whole thing is this guy only created this whole legend because he has to deliver a total of 6,000 letters for his dad to welcome him back to his life of luxury. And he never tells anybody about it.
Which is odd because I could have sworn que se lo dijo a Klaus. I could have sworn.
And he doesn't. And it's such a non-issue. Like
he could have brushed over it. He could
have just said yeah, I'm doing this so I can go back home. You're doing it for the kids, so there's no skin off my nose. But no, he doesn't say it. And then when it's eventually revealed, el problema mío no es que él esté mintiendo y lo cogen. El problema is always the reaction. It's always that you lied to me moment. And then it's like, okay, let me explain. No, I don't want to listen. I already know what you're going to say. It's like, shut up.
Even nowadays, it still happens.
It's like, just fucking hear him out. This has a solution if you just shut up for a minute and hear him out.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the thing is, without the liar reveal, you still could have you still could have had the same climax, because that whole liar reveal moment is only so he can start leaving the town and has this sad moment, and then he reaches this epiphany and he sees the villains going to ruin everything, so he goes for the rescue. You could have had that same moment just by everybody saying, yeah, we get it, you want to go home, you can go, it's fine. And that would have hit him harder, because now he's being an asshole if he goes.
Yeah, I agree.
And he would have I don't know.
Would you think that the same twist at that part would be the same if you did it that way?
It just would have. It would have also kept with the theme of the movie that an act of kindness brings another act of kindness. Because as far as Klaus and the others would see it in this scenario, it's kindness of them to say, yeah, your job is done. You can go home now. It's fine.
Exacto. We got this, básicamente. Y ahí donde se da cuenta de que no, I kind of want this shitty lifestyle.
Yeah.
Shitty entre comillas. It was funny when he came back. That shit had me dying. Como que saca la bolsa, le está pompeando. Okay, let's do this shit. Oh my God, why are they attached? I would have never done this shit if they weren't attached.
I like the self-awareness. That was really funny.
And then at the end where they go like, yeah, they weren't attached because you jump on the decoy.
Exacto.
We went through this whole climax of you almost dying.
For nothing.
For nothing.
But that's a testament of Jason, because Jason knows how to deliver this shit. Like, él, with his dry, como que delivery and shit. Like, ¿verdad? Wes Anderson lo ha entrenado bien para este tipo de cosas. And it works really, really well.
It does.
So, de verdad que sí. El performances de todo el mundo estaba super nice. And, como tú dijiste, el elemento que...
Apart from, exception of the part that Josue mentioned, because I do have to agree on that sort of sense, but every single scene in this movie was so beautifully done and so funny, because I have to mention the whole bully part with the Cole thing.
Oh yeah,
turns around, it was
great scene.
Stuff. I'm like, oh God, no.
Great scene, yeah.
And the Sami girl fucking is adorable.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, gee, this girl is so precious.
Yeah.
You just want to cuddle.
Yeah.
Cuddle her and just like, no, not that.
And I like how the main character is a lovable asshole without it being too
obnoxious.
Exacto.
Yeah.
Which is a hard line to...
Yeah. There are a lot of people who like to write these jerk characters.
Yeah.
But then it's like, yeah, but these jerk characters need more of a substance to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like BoJack Horseman, you look inside of him to see what's bugging him.
Yeah.
What other characters? Bender from Futurama is an asshole, but he's got a heart to him, you know.
Yep.
Like my shiny metal ass. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I love the reinterpretation of like the legend of what Santa Claus is.
Mhm.
Me gusta que todo tenía sentido. The whole idea of like the workshop, hasta la ropa, it all was just
The cold, the going in
yeah,
the
todo.
chimney, the cookies,
Yeah.
everything.
Everything was so cleverly done.
And it
tú
was so
sabes.
set up that now once he said like, oh, if you do a good deed,
Ujú.
it was so beautifully set up that it's just seamlessly did it.
Exacto. Y me gusta que el mensaje es eso mismo. An act of kindness is como que paying forward y toda la cuestión.
Mhm.
Porque siempre la contraparte de los papás era como que, no, they're just doing it for the toys. Pero es como que it goes beyond that. And it's kind of sweet porque usually a lot of these Christmas movies end up being siempre el viaje de que, no hay regalos, pero vamos a abrazarle y kumbaya and everything's great. And then there's gifts at the end anyways. So es como que, so what's the meaning? Is it capitalism or is it really like being together for the holidays?
The ending was well done too.
Yes, I like the ending.
Because I was thinking, okay, so they can't keep this up.
Exacto.
There's not enough trees and there's not enough time or enough
Yeah.
workers for this. And this is
Yeah.
just me being logical.
Sí, sí.
But once he passed away,
Mhm.
que se desapareció con la esposa,
Yeah.
I loved that they didn't necessarily have to say there's magic involved in this or say anything about it. It just happened.
It just
Which is-
happened.
Beautiful, and it just makes even more sense the whole retelling of what Christmas is and what Santa Claus is. Not even Santa Claus, it's just Claus.
Es como the idea of how oral history passing down through people and through generations
Exactly.
gets repeated, but gets molded dependiendo de lo que sea. And now he became literally a legend.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, I was awful because when I first started watching this movie and the winds, he seems to have like this connection with the wind.
Yeah.
Later implied to be the spirit of his dead wife.
Yeah.
But it's like he's just this connection to the wind, and all I could think of was fucking Pocahontas. Like,
Why
I
do you
was
have
like,
the image in my head now? I can't
Oh
keep
my
it.
God.
I was like, oh, Klaus can paint with all the colors of the wind too.
Exacto.
Jesus H.
Oh my God.
Now I just want a Colors of the Wind cover by J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
JK should do it.
Yeah, he should. But yeah, it's a very sweet movie. It's almost like a timeless classic, excepto por las cosas que mencionamos, donde it's almost there. But you know, the musical choices are just so odd. It
So
almost
you
feels like they were there by
had to
contractual obligations. I swear.
Yeah,
They
this
had
movie,
that sweet spot.
yeah,
But you
this
just
movie
went
is
for it.
this movie's now like 3 years old, and I'm hoping it kind of creates a sort of enough of a demand to do more animate movies in this style of animation.
Oh, see, no, for sure, eso va a pasar.
Yes.
Because
for sure.
I love classic animation.
Mhm.
I really do. And I'm not saying to get rid of CGI. I'm just saying there's room for
Incorporate it.
both.
Sí,
There's
Yeah,
room for both.
incorporate
claro.
Lo mismo que el argumento que dicen si hacemos CGI o hacemos practical as effects, which one
Yeah.
costs more, which one costs less. Like if you combine it both, it's actually flawless. Just like if you combine CGI and classic cartoon drawing,
Mhm.
it's the same argument.
Yeah,
Why
there's
not
room for
incorporate it instead of phasing it out and letting that old practice become
Claro.
obsolete?
Claro.
like going back to Leica. Even Leica uses computers nowadays to
Oh, sí.
like add to the effects and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot more of the time they do it for their background, not just the characters in itself. It's mostly the background.
Yeah, it's like
That's really
it's
cool.
invisible CGI. Full.
Yeah, and that one Coraline part where everything just went like white
Mhm.
and it was crumbling, and then she went like around the world,
Yeah.
back to the same place.
Mhm.
That was all CGI.
Plus, there's just this organic feel to like hand drawn facial expressions and movement that you can't really replicate with computers. They've come close and they've done some good imitations. At the I don't really like these movies like the Hotel Transylvania, but I do love the energy behind them. They have an energy that harkens back to classic cartoons. But they're not.
I mean, it's Gene, ¿cómo se llama este tipo?
Yandy Tartakovsky.
Exacto.
Like, but of course, it's not quite the same as having it drawn by hand. There's a imperfection to it that it just makes it feel more organic.
So tú eres de esos que grita que porque estamos en digital y no seguimos grabando ese celuloide?
Not really.
I know you're not. but it sounds like the same argument because you're arguing about the texture and about being like, more, ¿me entiendes?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not like the creator of Ed, Edd n Eddy who fought tooth and nail to keep his cartoon in cell until the final season.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I do appreciate that old look.
You feel que por lo menos el happy medium es tener un in between of both.
Yeah, this movie is a good in between. It's like it's drawn by hand, but it's colored and lit digitally.
Yeah,
and it gives it a three-dimensional feel, which is always what those classic hand-drawn animations were trying to do.
Sí.
Unless you didn't have the budget for it, pero eso no te 20. I would love to see more of this.
Yeah, it's a very interesting style.
I hope that it gets more talked about.
Sí.
And to see what else will come of, traditional cartoon making versus CGI.
Yo sé que esta película cuando salió tuvo mucho auge. A lot of people saw it. Y estuvo trending y obviamente fue nominada por un Oscar. So obviamente Netflix sabe como que, okay, there's something here. It's either the style or maybe the storytelling. Pero Netflix, como es un venue que lo que quiere, be the first at everything y ser the ones, there's always the money component, pero también they wanna be the pioneers in a lot of stuff. And they wanna give the chances que nadie más está dando. Obviamente son los que abren las puertas para dejar que este tipo de películas se hagan. Que probablemente un, DreamWorks o un Disney would be like, nah, screw it. If we want to do it, we'll do it CGI fully because we don't believe this methodology works anymore. But on Netflix, because they're starved for having this type of content, they're like, no, we will take it. We'll do it whatever you want, in whatever style you wish. Y te ayudamos a lograrlo, which is nice. I appreciate que Netflix esté en ese viaje.
And let's hope that it keeps at it because
of course.
Avatar The Last Airbender is already going.
Yeah, but for every Cowboy Bebop tenemos cositas buenas, so it's fine. at least they have this hindsight of canceling that shit show, so it's cool.
I wasn't expecting much because it's a remake of a classic anime in live action. I already knew it's like it's not gonna be good.
And
probably
with
not
your bad experience with that situation, let me not mention Dragon Ball.
Deadpool, yo pensé que te iba a mencionar Death Note, que ese era el ejemplo más reciente.
Oh boy!
Dragon Ball was
hang on.
Yes, of course it's worse.
I'm too sober to talk about Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh no!
Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action was horrible.
I would argue that one's worse.
That probably was worse. Yes.
Sí, porque por lo menos Dragon Ball Evolution has a story.
No,
The Last Airbender is just scenes. It's just doing like a little demo reel de las mejores escenas del anime. That's what it was. Without any context. No one understands what the hell happens in the movie unless you saw the anime.
Exactly.
Sí,
and there's many more. So they should at least be the first. Like you say, they want to be the pioneer of whatever they want to create. To be the first to actually do a live action of an anime or cartoon correctly.
Es que está difícil. I know que probablemente la idea behind Cowboy was, we know this anime is timeless. We know that if we try to replicate it, we're going to fail miserably at it. So let's try to approach it in a different way, but with somewhat of the style and spirit of the original one, which I feel they kind of did, pero it almost feels like la gente que hizo este live action adaptation just saw like YouTube montages of how cool Spike is, and they just emulated that instead of understanding the nuance of the suicidal character that he is.
Exactly. I still haven't seen it because I already heard so many bad things, and I am a huge Cowboy Bebop fan. That's my favorite and top tier anime.
Yeah,
Man, I fucking one of the best intro songs ever.
Oh, see, of course.
That is like my theme song.
So,
I like theme song.
Although I don't love the ending of Cowboy Bebop.
The ending song or the ending episode?
The last 2 episodes. It always felt very rushed, pero my understanding is that he had to make them a última hora, algo así.
Yeah.
Por eso, y se nota bien fucking feo. Like, yo estoy como que en un viaje bien cabrón con todos estos personajes, todos estos character developments, después el último episodio, they're like rushing through that ending, and I'm like, why is it going so quick? And then it happens. Yo dije, I like the ending shots, I just don't like how they had to rush to get there.
Mm-hmm. It was circumstantial.
It's still masterfully done. O sea, está cabrón.
It's still beautifully done, but Netflix at least should take the Klaus into consideration and some other animated or cartoonish works that they've done that has had more love.
Yeah, just they should just hire the studio that did Klaus and just say, hey, we're going to fund your next project.
Exactly. Probablemente lo están haciendo.
And
because animation takes a long time.
Exacto, por eso.
Because here's the thing, you're still shooting out a lot more movies and series that are based on animes and cartoons.
Claro.
Pero usted no aprende de las cosas previas. Don't forget.
Bueno, I mean, not everything's going to be a hit, obviously.
Of course, but there are at least some, things that you say, okay, so this happened in this series. Nobody really liked that. Let's not do that.
Está bien, pero I feel like they're... Okay, por ejemplo, tuviste cuando hicieron la de Jupiter's Legacy, creo que era. That superhero show que costó like a fucking fuck ton of money. Y eso no fue un hit porque obviamente la cancelaron 3 semanas después.
Wait, which one? The series or Jupiter's Ascending, the movie?
Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy, the series.
Oh, okay. No,
imagínate, pues sí, era una serie de superhéroe. It was like a generational superhero story que era de Mark Miller, que se tardaron con cojones en sacarla. Cuando la sacaron, it was just like half a story. Lo dejaron con cliffhanger malo. It was fucking horrible. And even though a lot of people saw it, they had the hindsight to be like, this is too expensive, we're not continuing this. Y lo hicieron lo mismo con Cowboy. So at least they're learning como que, okay, si esto no es like a successful hit y que la gente le gusta, we're not going to keep funding this shit. Porque again, te digo, por cada Cowboy Bebop, you get an Arcane. Por cada Jupiter's Legacy, you get, what was another big hit este año? Like a Tiger King or some shit, ¿me entiendes? Como que
Castlevania.
Oh no, Squid Game. Let's say a Squid Game.
Squid Games, yeah.
Squid Game. Que eso fue like literally everyone in the universe saw it. So come on, okay, of course you have to do like 7 more.
Such short period of time that it became so big that everybody started even not cosplaying. I was going to say cosplay. Their costumes in Halloween was all about Squid Games, and it's games out about Squid Games. That this was such a short period of time, and it became so widely known that there's so much content de Squid Game.
Su estrategia de hacer un shotgun y disparar ahí 7 balazos de cantazo, it works because again, por cada maybe 2 misfires, they have a really big hit in their hands, que es la conversación for like weeks on end or months on end.
Exactly.
So yeah, it does work. Lo que yo espero es, como tú dices, que gente como Klaus don't get forgotten and studios like those get funded, which I'm pretty sure they will. Porque también they're pretty savvy businessmen. Netflix and Netflix for a reason, and they're still the number 1 streaming service. Que basically, when you get cable, you get Netflix. When you get your internet, you get Netflix. When you get like a phone, you get Netflix. Y es por algo, ¿me entiendes? So it's like a utility at this point.
Exactly.
Here, have all of the Netflix.
Yeah, all the Netflix. Yeah,
and it's just making raining.
That's what you do. You're gonna end up with Netflix.
Exacto, por eso que te digo. Yeah,
it's like you stub your toe. Here, your insurance comes with Netflix.
Comes with Netflix. Literal, like my T-Mobile pays for my Netflix. Imagínate. Bueno, pays en verdad mierda, pero es como un freebie que ellos hacen. Pero ya.
If somebody hurts you, you're suing them. You're liable to earn another subscription to Netflix.
Like another month or 2.
Exacto.
Te compras un combo en McDonald's, you get a free subscription to Netflix.
A free 30-day trial.
Yeah, why not?
Get Xbox Game Pass along with the free subscription to Netflix.
Estoy eso chisteando, but I believe they give Hulu. Didn't they give at one point? No, era Hulu que daba Spotify at a certain point for free.
Yeah,
They
and
used to
now
do
was
that.
it Disney Plus, Hulu, and what
And
else?
And
ESPN.
ESPN.
And
Mhm.
ESPN.
Yeah, I actually
I
have that
I,
one because it's so cheap. Que might as
I
well.
really could not give any less of a shit about ESPN.
No, me neither. Pero when you get like Disney Plus and Hulu for the price of one of them, it's actually not a bad idea. Por eso yo lo compré.
I'm gonna need to check that out.
Yeah, it's not bad for the price. Obviamente, you're never going to use ESPN, pero genuinamente por las otras dos salen
Unless,
bastante bien.
yeah, I
And
just
who
don't care
knows?
about sports.
Probably
That's
other
fair.
streaming services are gonna adopt the same thing.
Oh, of course. Lo que pasa es que pues, Disney, obviamente, como casi una monopolio. I mean, not legally yet, pero they're very close to it.
They're trying.
Lord
Lord knows
God
they're
knows.
trying.
Lord knows.
In the knowledge of other people, yes.
Yes, of course. Of course, they're not properly, pero pues,
Hey,
yeah.
have they successfully lobbied to extend the copyright yet?
I do not know. No he chequeado eso.
Because
No.
the Mickey Mouse's copyright is almost up, and they're not gonna let that mouse.
No,
go.
they're not going to let that pass. Of course.
Para nada.
Para nada. They're going to fight tooth and nail for that. Por eso te digo.
I
Pero,
hope even though they probably won't, I hope they fail because I just want to see what crazy shit people will be able to do with Mickey Mouse in public domain.
pues tienen un copyright issue con algunos personajes de Marvel. Hence why está el legal dispute, que creo que para 2023, si ese dispute no se arregla, it goes back to the original creators, like the original creators de some of those characters. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? So the assumption is que what Disney is doing now is that they're making other characters take the mantle of these classic heroes so they can get away with keep using these characters further on. Como por ejemplo, Iron Man, they might not be able to use Tony Stark, but they can use Ironheart. Tener la Captain America, pues no tiene a
Steve
Rogers, sino tiene a Sam, and so on and so forth. Spider-Man, quizá lo reemplacen con el otro, con Ben Reilly, creo que era. Ejemplo así por millones. So that's kind of the idea of it, which is interesting because of, again, the copyright issue.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people are going to be pissed because they love the classic characters, but one of my biggest issues with comics has always been the status quo effect.
Oh, yeah.
Having these characters finally retire can give them some level of closure.
Yes.
And it's like I want that in my stories. I want my stories to eventually reach a certain point where you could say this is the end. With Batman, you kind of get that a little with the different Robins and Batgirls. But
no,
even
different
then,
Batmans, porque ha habido otro Batman in the Batcowl, so.
No, but that's the problem. Even when you get a different Batman, it always has to come back to Bruce
Oh,
Wayne.
of course.
Yeah.
Sí. Pasa con Superman también. Superman died and he came back. So
yeah, I love the idea when Bruce Wayne died and Dick Grayson took over because it's like, yes this is a natural progression of this story. This is where it should go. And he's back a year later. What was it? You were time. Your soul was time traveling into different versions. Okay.
I know. I have this storyline. It's ridiculous.
Because comics.
I know, because comics. Y yo tengo el run de, porque eso fue Grant Morrison que lo estaba escribiendo cuando hizo Batman y Robin, que era Damian y era Dick Grayson. Great story, porque la dinámica, obviamente, tener a Dick Grayson trying to take the mantle and Damian being a fucking asshole. Great combo. Great combo for great storytelling. Pero es como tú dices, like, they just can't leave the status quo. And it's frustrating, pero pues cuando hace algunos cambios, then people bitch and moan because it's like, oh, I want my classic heroes. I want my classic heroes with the classic suits on.
That's the problem. They kowtow too easily. You gotta have enough chutzpah to look at your audience in the eye and tell them, you don't always know what you want.
Sí, full. I agree.
Just trust me in this.
Yeah. At least we have como que el medio de cine. At least we do get closure. Porque es como que pues, hasta que obviamente...
Por eso que, that's why I prefer my superheroes in TV series and in movies, because eventually those have to come to an end.
Oh, yeah. Until, you know, they just give a truckload of money back to Robert Downey Jr. cuando el Marvel Cinematic Universe está anemic again y él sale como que en un portal y le dice, here I am, boys, let's do this again. I mean, you roll your eyes.
Estoy esperando para eso.
Pero va a pasar esa mierda.
Actually, my mom actually brought something up like that the other day. He's like, oh no, it's just these Marvel movies. And I'm like, Mom, what you are experiencing is called fatigue.
Yes.
It happens to most people. Even if you like a certain product, if you get too much of it, you eventually kind of tire of it.
Yeah, you're gonna. Everyone should see la película esa, la del Big Mac. I forgot the name. It was that great documentary de Morgan que he ate like Big Macs for 30 days straight.
Super Size Me?
Super Size Me, yeah. ¿No te acuerdas que básicamente el quinto día comiendo el Big Mac todos los días, he was freaking puking and shit? It's like the same thing.
And you get tired.
Eventually, yeah, you're gonna get tired. If
Like,
you keep eating a fucking Big Mac, you're gonna get tired.
It's like I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, but yo le cojo el break de vez en cuando because it's too much.
Oh yeah, of course.
But would you argue that could be just a fandom, or it's just
No, las películas, no el
the
fandom.
película en itself?
Oh yeah, no, I would say films. I don't know si Josué agrees, but I would say films. I don't
When
think
you
the
say-
fandom me hace cansarme de las películas o series or whatever. I'll watch
I mean, it depends. Like, I rarely interact with fandoms precisamente por eso.
Okay.
Like I have my opinions on Star Wars, you know, obviously, but it sucks that now I can't bring up Star Wars without starting a flame war.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, motherfucker, like, I get it. You don't like these movies, and that's fine. You're free to not like them. Can we not make this an issue about? There you go on your rant, your SJW rant again. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had that once with someone.
Okay.
That he asked me which one's my favorite. I say my favorite. Oh, you're the only one who likes those.
verdad.
Okay.
I think you said that once to me, and I think I probably said that to you too.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm the only one who likes them. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Está bien. Like, I'm not entitled to like stuff.
I mean, let's be honest. We all like the Christmas special. It's the best one. Oh, claro.
Why did you have to mention that one?
Because you know it's the best one. You know it in your heart.
Mini aneurysm. Oh no.
This is the same. This is the special where the creator of this franchise, the same guy who was perfectly okay with Jar Jar Binks and midi-chlorians. He's like, all that is great.
Yep.
He took a look at this and has said publicly, if I had the time and the sledgehammer, I will destroy every existing copy.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh my god.
Es que ver la cara de freaking Mark Hamill at the end. Just him looking like dead face. Like, why am I here?
And wasn't this also like shortly after his reconstructive surgery?
Yes.
So this guy just got out of reconstructive surgery after like a horrific accident to sit through this, seeing poor Carrie Fisher, who was probably tripping balls singing that dumb song.
Yep.
And Harrison Ford looks so like I really
It's
rather be
es
anywhere
magnífico.
but here.
Fucking magnífico. Like, honestamente, Disney, since they own it right now, en este diciembre 25, hear me out, Disney Plus, just do a 4K. Just do a 4K transfer.
What's amazing is they actually invoked the Christmas special with a recent Christmas Lego special.
Por eso es que te estoy diciendo, they know, they're aware of this, porque ese especial de Lego is kind of structured like the original Christmas special.
Yeah. Looking forward to Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So ready for that.
Cool.
Like, I'm not ready for Christmas. I'm ready for the Book of Boba Fett.
But speaking of Christmas, just knocking out of the ballpark with these segues. Since we talked about, before we sidetracked, as we often do in these episodes, we were talking about Klaus, which is looking to be one of those Christmas classics, or potentially.
Yeah.
Before we started this, we started talking about our favorite Christmas classics, and Lex got in. I apparently almost caused a domestic dispute in Lex's house because I mentioned that I never saw A Christmas Story.
And made it worse when I said I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, sorry, boss.
Sorry, boss.
You'll make us watch it next year, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it this week.
Nice. Exacto.
What is your favorite Christmas special?
Ooh.
I grew up with some of the stop motion classics, the Rudolph one and mainly the Rudolph one. The Abominable Snowman scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
The Little Drummer Boy.
Oh yeah.
And I've had a personal connection with that folklore character ever since.
Yeah.
La canción en inglés una mierda, español all the way.
Okay.
Porque la canción en inglés has almost no lyrics.
Oh, okay.
While the Spanish one is more poetic.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to love Jim Carrey's The Grinch as a kid because I was just a big Jim Carrey fan. Then I grew up and went, hang on, this is way too gross and mean-spirited to be a Dr. Seuss special. And I went back to the original, as I should.
Bueno.
That original one by Chuck Jones, one of the great masters of animation,
Yes.
voiced by Frankenstein himself. What was his name?
Frankenstein himself.
Boris Karloff.
No.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
That's the one I always go to every year.
Okay.
Bueno, for me, like I already said throughout the stream, Home Alone has been one of my go-tos every year, and it's because my sister made me grow up with this, and so on and so forth. It was always the second one for me.
Okay.
It's my favorite. The first one is the classic, but the second one was like pure gold.
Especially now that all versions have edited out the former president.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Best part.
Remember when he threw a bitch fit over that?
Yeah.
Oh,
He is such a child.
he is a child. So Home Alone is one. The Grinch is the other, of course.
Yeah.
I didn't really care how gross it was and whatever for being a Dr. Seuss movie, but it's
It's
the
just one of those
character
things.
itself. Like Jim Carrey made the character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Like that's the main reason you watch that version is for Jim
Same.
Carrey.
Yeah. No, I'm not going. That is my
Yeah.
That whole sequence is very relatable.
Yeah.
I-
Elf.
Like he became a meme. That whole scene where he's like looking at his
The outfit.
itinerary, and it's all just him like doing a lot of self-loathing things.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of millennials say, "Yep, this is the millennial life."
Exacto.
And
Yeah.
I did like the out of box SFX that
Yeah.
they did with the nose and everything.
Yeah. That
That
movie
was
has a lot
Makeup.
of practical
Yeah,
effects and
makeup.
that I appreciate.
Very good.
It was really good, and the music was cute.
I like doing impressions and voices, and The Grinch was one of the first ones I learned to do at the time.
Oh, nice.
The other one's Elf. Elf
Mhm.
is a pure classic. Will Ferrell
Yes.
did so good.
I've yet to see it because every little bit I have seen of it, I look at it and goes, "This movie looks like it's going to annoy me."
Lo que pasa es que está yendo fuera de contexto.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Está yendo
It
fuera de
doesn't.
contexto.
Es que
No.
todo lo único que yo he visto de is mostly the scenes where he's freaking out.
Exacto, por eso
Like the
mismo.
scenes where it's like, "We're gonna have Santa," and he just goes, "Santa," and it's like I usually like Will Ferrell movies
Yeah.
for better or worse, but this is just too much for me.
Yeah.
I love Anchorman. I quote it still to
Oh.
this day,
Yeah.
but
I mean, Anchorman's Anchorman, but
Sí, obligado.
Elf will always be a classic for me, especially that little spaghetti scene. Ooh,
Yeah.
best.
Esa es tu comida de Navidad.
Para
¿Tú
que yo
comes un
muera y
25?
vaya para el hospital, dale, sí.
I mean, you're gonna die happy, for sure.
They're gonna cut. Como decía Gabriel Iglesias, like they're gonna cut me open. And all they're gonna smell is chocolate cake. Yeah, that's gonna be me every Christmas.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Another one was the Scrooge movie, the Disney one.
A Christmas Carol,
Yeah,
So
Christmas Carol.
la de Jim Carrey, entonces.
the Jim Carrey one.
No,
The
no,
Mickey
Jim
Mouse
Carrey,
one?
The Mickey
The
Mouse
Mickey
one.
Mouse one.
Okay, that's a good
Por
one.
eso, yeah.
That's a good
And
one.
the Charlie Christmas Story. Was it Charlie Brown's Christmas Story?
Sure, Charlie Brown, yeah. Okay. I
Mickey's
first-
Christmas Carol, yeah.
First one para mí es Elf. Elf is a fucking Christmas masterpiece. Está cabrón.
Well, God help me, I'm gonna have to watch it then.
Es que es so
Yes.
good. Like,
It's fun.
el Fish Out of Water story, like, es que él mezcló todo lo, fue bien fascinante porque todos los elementos que son clásicos of throughout cinema's history están implementados completamente ahí. Y entonces todo tiene un porqué. It has stop motion sequences.
Mhm.
Toda la cuestión del legado de Santa está brutal. The whole story about the human among the elves está cabrón. La ropa es toda una referencia a ¿cuál era? A Rudolph. No era Rudolph, sino el little elf de los stop motion animated movies.
I know
Esa
which one. I
estética.
don't remember the name.
Yeah. Exacto, de esa estética, esa ropita, it was obviamente inspirado en eso. Entonces, that's why they all have the same clothing. Obviamente tener el fish out of water, so having this childlike wonder exploring a very cynical New York, y el contraste de eso está brutal. Los personajes are very charming, they're great, well-rounded characters. It's funny as fuck. It's endearing as hell. Como que in the spirit of what Christmas movies are supposed to be. Y tiene muchos elementos que make it timeless in a modernistic type of sense. So esa es como que mi go-to full. Cuando voy para después para segundas y terceras opciones, pues I actually am one of the ones that watches A Nightmare Before Christmas on Halloween and on Christmas. So I
Dope.
double dip. I am a
Yeah,
cheater.
I was about to ask, what do you guys consider Nightmare Before Christmas? A Christmas movie or a Halloween
I
movie?
do both.
Yes.
I
Christmas.
do. Exacto, yes.
Officially,
Yeah.
it's Christmas, but for me, it's always been Halloween because when I started watching it, I saw skulls and I saw Halloween shit. I'm like, okay,
Sí.
Halloween.
Es que como técnicamente todo está pasando para el tiempo de Navidad y todo es to push Christmas, technically it's more Christmas que Halloween.
Exactly.
Sí, por eso. Pero I like Jose said, yes, I do them for both. It's a full
Same.
for both. Y una tercera opción, I think Grinch as well. I think the Grinch one. And I do like the original one porque pues, es short, sweet, and to the point. Pero a mí me gusta el approach que trató de hacer Ron Howard con la del 2000. I like it. Nunca
Yeah.
vi la otra. They did like another one, which was an
Yeah,
animated one.
Illumination.
Illumination did one que pues no sé, nunca la he visto, pero... Have you seen it?
No, I got two more.
Okay, Zumba.
If everybody loves hard like I do, Krampus.
Oh yes, Krampus. Thank
my
you for
favorite
reminding me of that one. That was
That
so
was a good
good.
one.
So
Fun
funny.
fact, yo tengo un primo.
Ajá.
Yo tengo un primo que cumpleaños el 5 de diciembre, and that's Krampus Day.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you should dress up as Krampus. I'm scared.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
You should.
yep.
De todos los santos, vamos.
No, Krampus, cuando yo la vi en el cine, me voló la mente. Pues yo dije, oh my God, this is so fucking clear. And it's so smart. And it's so well written. And so funny. So
I
funny.
know.
So good. I like
I
it so good.
especially like the little helpers.
Yes.
So it's a horror comedy then.
Oh, yeah.
You can say that. And one that actually hasn't been mentioned
Zumba.
at all,
Mhm.
the Polar Express.
Pero es que I don't like the Polar Express.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I just don't like it.
It's the animation style. It's very Uncanny Valley for me.
Y la historia no me atrajo mucho, to be fair. A mí no me atrajo mucho.
And I'm going through
Mhm.
any other Christmas movies or classic Christmas movies. I forgot that Gremlins is one.
Technically.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah,
And I-
es
Grab
la
my
Show
misma
it to-
lógica de Die Hard. You know what I
Show
mean?
it to your show it to your kids and have them traumatized
Yeah.
with that story that the girlfriend tells.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But there is many more that actually it's just not. There's Die Hard.
Of course.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Exacto, esas son las clásicas también.
There's a
A Wonderful
It's
Life.
a Wonderful Life.
Claro, cuando tú vas con los clásicos full, esos son los clásicos.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Apple
them.
Day,
But
The
yeah.
Redemption.
those
Mhm.
Rankin Bass stop motion ones.
Exacto.
But
Yeah,
there's
there's a lot of
Yeah.
a lot for sure. Like Christmas is perhaps the most used because
Sí.
hay mucha gente que like no necesariamente película, pero ven los Christmas specials of their favorite TV shows and stuff.
Mhm. Sí. No, y si tú ves Netflix, you literally write Christmas y te van a salir. Cuando yo puse like Klaus, me salió like 20 more Christmas movies en Netflix solamente. Que
There
son
is a lot.
Netflix original ones, ¿me entiendes? Es como una cosa súper
Pero-
loca.
Ahí es cuando yo como que I reiterate the whole, it's going to be the same thing all the time because
Of course.
that's
Yeah.
in the example of Hallmark that spews out Christmas movies every year,
Mhm.
and it's almost the same timeline, almost the same lore and story. It's just another way of kind of adding not even smut, just romance
Mhm.
to Christmas when it's not really necessarily needs to be romantic. But
Sí.
it's really hard to find a unique Christmas movie like, let's say, Klaus.
Sí. Algo que excels y como que goes above and beyond, es verdad. They do become rarer and rarer, específicamente cuando abusan tanto del género y del trope.
The whole
Completamente.
joy and everything is so magical
Claro.
and pretty, and then here comes the romance, and you're like, oh no, not again.
Exacto.
Yeah, well, the big problem with a lot of Christmas specials is that you run the risk of it turning kind of saccharine.
Yeah,
It's so sweet que palaga.
Exactamente. Yep.
but there is a right way of doing it.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
It is.
Pero,
It's gotta
pero
know.
people So it's sometimes people just like to see it for the comfort of it, ¿me entiendes? Como que
Yeah,
algo
for
familiar, es
sure.
algo
It's
que
just
people
that
are
I'm
like,
a,
"Oh, okay, whatever."
it's just that I'm a cynical bastard. It's like,
Oh, same. Para mí, cosas así me tienen que tocar de verdad porque it's going to be very hard to convince me otherwise. Definitivamente. Yeah.
You
I
really
guess
got
3 because I am like that too.
yeah, to me, you gotta earn that moment where you start hearing somewhere in my memory, and then you just start bawling your eyes
Oh,
out.
yeah, of course. Definitivamente. Yeah.
I like it. Can we appreciate that Home Alone soundtrack is relatively underrated in the whole catalog of John
Thank
Williams?
you for
I'll see.
mentioning that.
Of course.
Yes.
I agree.
For the longest time as a kid, since I was a kid, I thought it was like the Nutcracker Suite or something, and then I sat down and watched the movie, and I'm like, this isn't the Nutcracker. It kind of sounds like it. It's evoking it for sure, but it's not the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Oh, this is original. Holy shit. Who did this? Oh, it's John Williams.
Of course. That's why it sounds so great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and another one, but this is only targeted for my females and my Barbie fans. The Barbie Nutcracker movie was.
I've actually
Any Barbie movie is like gorgeous.
I've actually met women around my age or a little younger who say like, "Yeah, I grew up with all those Barbie DVDs," and I'm like, "Oh, okay then,
cool."
I did too.
I'm actually curious to pick your brain and hear about that because obviously I wasn't the demographic for it, so I never saw them.
Yeah.
How about, hey, Lex, if you're still here, let's do a whole Barbie one.
Stop. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's cool. It's cool. You can do it.
Please hear me out.
That could be a separate podcast series.
That's
in
true.
and of itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just
Barbie-
watching all the Barbie movies. Whew. It never ends because there's like 1,000. So like also they pump them out every second.
I'll let you know which one I pick.
And I mean, it's right up there with my idea of watching every Best Picture winner of the Oscars for a podcast show.
Yeah,
Pero
that'd
es
be
que el chiste es que a lot of them are not the best picture of the
That's
year.
the point. Yeah, we need to see
you
which
want to
ones.
analyze them. Yeah, got it.
Which ones hold up.
Or what you can do is what we kind of do, but you pick the one that won the Oscar and the one that you thought won.
Should have won.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that's a better. I like that one much better because I have choices.
Mhm.
It's
gonna be hard
Here.
the further back we go.
True. You say that, but Citizen Kane didn't win, and that's always gonna be a crime against humanity.
Yeah.
Esa es la cosa. Pensando por eso. Después you have shit like Crash, which makes no sense to me.
Because they thought they were being progressive and woke.
I know. Which is ridiculous.
It's one of those movies that it very wrongfully goes like, it's not the system, it's a few bad apples.
Exacto.
It's like, no, that's not the issue when it comes to racism.
No,
in the US.
además de lo melodramático que es, so horribly melodramatic, but like in a bad way. It's not too much. So yeah, for sure. I like that idea. It's not good.
We should
No,
do that
con
for
este año.
episodes.
Pues podemos hacer este año cuando gane Belfast y yo empiezo a gritarle por qué esa película ganó el Oscar. We can start having that. Because it's gonna win. That's gonna be the tragedy of it all. It's gonna win. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. God damn it. Yo vi esa película, yo le vi el review a Alex y es como que yo vi esa película y yo dije, I see why it's gonna win. I mean, it shouldn't, pero I completely get it. It has all the right elements para que todos los Oscar voter boomers que existen todavía ahí digan, oh yeah, esto me dio los fifis. Gracias, Kenneth Branagh. Gracias.
It's a Kenneth Branagh movie.
Oh yes, it's like the most different film that he's ever done. Like el tipo se nota que él dijo, I wanna do something very stylistically different. Y se tiró hizo el assignment. He did something very unique para lo que él usualmente hace.
Is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, pero a costo de que the movie doesn't feel like his type of movie. Y segundo, I don't know what the hell he wanted to say. I really don't understand cuál fue el mensaje, la tesis, or anything that he wanted to say.
Just give him a big budget and let him adapt another Shakespeare play, please.
Sure, eso sí, que se quede en ese aspecto, for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Isn't his version of Hamlet like a full? Isn't his version of Hamlet like a full 4-hour epic or something?
I remember, coño, yo la vi. Sí, yo la vi. I remember loving it. No me acuerdo si 4 horas, pero I remember loving it. Porque yo sé que la vi para mi clase de Shakespeare. Yeah. It's really good. Well, hey, we got the tragedy of Macbeth coming up by half a Cohen. So who knows?
Really? Only one Cohen?
Yes, Joel is doing it. Yes, because it's the year of the brother directors and the sister directors breaking up.
Oh God.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
ya Ethan Cohen dijo, I'm done. I wanna do more movies. And Joel dijo, well, fuck you, but brother, I'm gonna keep making them. So that's what's up. So it's interesting. I can ver. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to add in this holiday cheer?
Well, I hope that everybody is having a nice Christmas.
That's
And then
safe.
you have your tree, because aquí, por lo menos en Puerto Rico, estamos teniendo una escasez de árbol.
I have a fake one, so I'm good. I have two fake ones.
I had to convince my father,
Yeah.
for about 3 days,
Yeah.
to get a fake tree because I was getting tired of getting real trees.
Yeah.
And I got a fake tree from Marshall's.
Yeah.
That changes color. It has a built-in lights and all that stuff. So we
That's
have
cool.
to use the lights we already have for the outside of the house.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Because we collect a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hoarding. Got it.
Everybody, have yourself some happy holidays. Stay safe. Get
Cookies
vaccinated.
and Christmas houses and all that shit.
Get
You
vaccinated,
mean the
especially if
gingerbread?
you're gonna see family.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, definitely get the boosty. Get the level 3.
The level 3.
Yes.
So what, higher up than 5G?
Yeah, 5G UC. Así es como sale mi celular ahora. I swear. Eso empezó a salir el otro día. I think it's ultra capacity. That's why it's called UC. Not
Don't worry.
Because of that booster shot that it just ended up doing that.
Don't worry about the chips. They already got you on the phone. So
Oh yeah, so it's good. It's Gucci.
It's good.
Just take it.
Yeah.
Just take it.
That's okay. I ain't gonna do shit. Just start
Take it
drinking
twice.
the pills beforehand.
Yeah. Si tanto es el
That's
concern,
the
for
part.
sure. But yeah, visit your family, be safe. Don't go crazy cuando salga Spider-Man. Just keep it chill, keep it simple.
Keep it chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo voy el primer día porque conseguí la taquilla, pero because everyone's gonna spoil that shit el primer día because it happened with Endgame, so people can't control their tongues. So I'm gonna go
That's
see it the
crazy,
first day. Yeah.
Lucky you.
Bueno, yo me conecté el otro día porque yo traté solo a las 12 cuando vi que pasó el papelón de que la página no funcionaba. Yo me levanté a las 8 por casualidad de la vida. Yo dije, let me check. Cuando veo, me conecté a la aplicación y yo, ok, let me check Mayagüez. Oh, look at that. Pop, pop. Got it. Done. was pretty easy.
Oh my god.
That was easy. On Thursday at 3 p.m. Pretty easy. Yo creo que es porque estoy en Mayagüez. I think that was the benefit, honestamente.
También puede pasar eso. Voy a tener que poner a verlo.
I swear que sí. Might be the best option. Yeah.
Sí, pero ahora.
I do that literally every week now.
I
what
know.
I've been doing.
Poor thing.
I literally have to go twice next week. So imagínate.
Hey, la gasolina.
It's fine. It's worth it, I think.
I mean, at least you could catch up with podcasts.
Yes. And, it's for the content. For the content. Yeah.
For all the content.
Pero yeah, pues nada. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. Be safe, como dijo Jose. Be with your family. I hope you all get a little relaxed time. These last 2 years have been fucking hell. Para todos los puertorriqueños, the last 5 years have been hell. So we all deserve just a day or two of just a breather. Just a little breather.
Yeah,
el pernil, pasteles, mofongo, ajos con gandules.
Sin ketchup.
Sin ketchup. Con ketchup. Con ketchup. Some people like it, man. I know it ruins the flavor, but some people like it. Oh my God. That was not us. Eso fue our
that's
Lord.
our God Lex.
Our God Lex. The audacity. The audacity.
I audacitates, yes.
Yes. I just hope everyone has a good day. And,
Yeah,
chill. Por lo menos para el día que estén tranquilitos. We all
and
deserve
for New
it.
Year's, have fun, but be safe also. Cover your heads. Be inside.
Oh, for sure. Sí, por favor.
Please take care of your pets.
Oh, yeah.
Because this time around Christmas and New Year's, there's a lot of noise, a lot of fireworks. Please protect them. They are very nervous creatures.
But yeah, I hope you all have a good night and a great New Year's. And we'll see you next year because that's it. We're not doing any more episodes till next year. And Lex will let you know on social media what the next episode will be and what movies we'll be talking about. So
to close it off, Josue.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Where can the people find you? That's the joke.
Nowhere. Once this is done, I have to go back and travel all the way to the North Pole and help Santa with his presents.
You almost had it. You were supposed to say, I'm going to follow the misty wind into the ether.
Listen, paint with all the... I'm afraid I cannot paint with all the colors of the wind.
Okay, nice.
Okay,
nice.
better.
Bells.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Libros de la Bruja. You can find me here bi-weekly, but of course, we'll see you guys next year.
Yes.
And that's about it for now.
Awesome. Pues you can all find me here también with you guys talking about movies and shit. También puedo seguir en After School Club, que I think we have one more episode, si no me equivoco, on Sunday, which is tomorrow. También me puedo seguir en The Movie Guy, que hablamos los martes de what we saw over the weekend and all that jazz. También en Cine Más. I am going to try to get an episode before the end of the year. I'll see qué puedo cuadrar before. También follow me on Insta y on Twitter, porque pues I have a few films that I'm going to be talking about because some of the films que faltan este año, I'm going to be reviewing them a little bit earlier. So you can check my thoughts de esas películas que faltan. No Spidey though, pero there's another big one that I might get into before the year's ends. So, nada, además de eso, pues you can check me out con John, que tenemos Subtitle Required, que hablamos también de este me supone que salga de Your Name, que hablamos de Your Name. Y nada, just Google me, Google my name. Yo hago cosas en producción vaquero. Next year I'll be doing the big push porque tengo 2 películas que dirigí que voy a empezar a push to festivals to see dónde cae. So you're going to see more of the stuff I've been doing lately. So yeah. So Lex, thank you. Take it away.